TV.
Briquettes.
Yes.
Interesting enough.
And even going to, as you speak of the skin, there's something very interesting. You can actually press it as they are. When they are still, put them in a machine, press, there's still an element of oil, which is
really?
good. Do you know what that oil is? You just need to process it a bit, and you produce diesel.
This one, first of all, think about it from an environment perspective. Since charcoal is deforestation and everything, you can use it and make it using briquettes. You can make charcoal very cheap because charcoal is booming business by all standards. It's booming business.
In fact, there's a great demand for briquettes. It's higher than the supply in the market.
It is. So when you think about it from an environmental aspect, you can think about selling charcoal. And charcoal, personally, I have doing a plan of setting up briquette facility that can be able to make fuel in terms of charcoal cheaper than charcoal. Briquettes that are cheaper than charcoal in terms of production, in terms of consistency, and safety. Because briquettes don't have carbon monoxide.
No, they don't.
Zero. And they burn faster. They burn longer and they burn hotter.
And slower.
Yes. Which is very interesting. Okay. The other people who you can sell briquettes to, people who are raising chickens, chicks and all that, they usually use those coals to keep the chicks warm. That's also another market that you can be able to explore.
And like so you have on the skin alone, you can do 2 or 3 products.
Yeah, but on the husk
skin alone.
And the seed husk, you can make BTH, butylated.
Yes, that long name.
Butylated hydroxytoluene.
Yes.
That is used in plastic that contains 60%.
Yes.
60% of what?
60+%
of the content
that is what? On the skin of the?
Skin of the seed.
Yes, the seed,
Yes.
which is others referred to as the peat. Yes.
Now, on the peat itself, you remember we did that and even exported to states. We took the samples. We took samples to America the other day, which was very interesting.
Yes.
The peat itself is categorized as a superfood.
Yeah.
It's at the level of moringa. It's at the level of those superfoods.
Yes.
The peat itself, once you dehydrate it, you can make it into powder. That powder can be used as animal feed. It can be used as human feed in terms of with additional nutrients. It can be used also for a face mask. Not the face mask that we're wearing now during COVID, but the beauty face masks. The beauty face mask can also be used, and also the leftover that you use now after you have pressed can also be used as face mask. So imagine this is just one crop. This is just one crop. We haven't even dented the surface. Because what happens is I don't know if you've come across this quite a number of times. Whenever there's a season, for instance, like avocado season, and you go to Marikiti market. The waste.
Is it go now?
Yes, it's in tons. Literally heaps.
It's heaps.
It's heaps. It's in tons. And when you go there, you can literally take without buying.
Yeah.
Because to them, you're cleaning.
Just have the county.
You have the county,
You're removing a problem.
Yeah, you're removing a problem which they have.
But have you looked at all that in terms of biogas?
Yes, you can even produce biogas.
Yeah, all
There's-
that is just...
that way, the skin.
Yes.
When finished now, it can be...
throw that waste into a bag and make biogas.
In a biogas system, and it will produce.
And use it for cooking.
You can, listen, how biogas is an amazing thing. There's a biogas generator. You produce the gas, you regulate it in a way, and it runs directly into a generator and you'll produce electricity.
Interesting.
So
imagine.
Technically, what
And
you
then
guys are
on
saying...
the other side, you have another pipe going into your kitchen with what you call a low pressure gas stove. Usually 2 burner, because it's not complicated. Because low pressure, it'll burn and you'll cook with it.
Yeah. You see, what technically we are all saying is there is something out of something. Agricultural produce in this country should never go to waste. Okay? So, like when you talk about the park houses and all that, we need to get to a point whereby, personally, I am thinking stuff like kerosene should be out of the market. Because literally every village in this country has an access to biodegradable stuff. So we work a way where we can do a program, and all of us, the three of us, can probably find partners and do biogas facilities in these villages. Okay, it is safer. The old people in the village will not have issues with their eyes because of struggling to use Carol every other time. Yeah, so let's encourage people to do, not to throw agricultural stuff.
I'll tell you something. I'm glad that you've said that. It starts with the waste, both human and animal waste.
Yeah.
Just make sure you channel it into a pit. Of course, if there's a little work you have to do to produce the biogas, but it can be done.
Yeah, but there are companies that actually set
all
up
the waste,
Yeah.
which you
From your
all
kitchen.
kitchen waste, going into a pit where you'll produce it's amazing end to end. I have a person in Karen, this same Karen we are talking about. He has the container, all their waste is there, all their vegetable waste goes into that pit thing, and they don't use human, but it's producing the gas they need, and they're using it to cook, and it's free.
Now, biogas will be probably one of the things we touch on later on. You know, so the interesting bit is what I'm seeing is lacking in the avocado sector. Since we're talking about the avocado sector today, is order. Just a sense of order. In fact, because many people imagine that I want to be an avocado farmer, I have to plant avocado. But clearly that's not the case. Because I might not be able to plant avocado, but there are people who have already planted. Because those trees take, how long? 3 years?
3 years.
Yeah. So 3 years. So someone might not really have 3 years to wait. So a research was done, and this one is done by even Ugandans, when they were coming to do research about avocado, because Kenya is a leader in that particular, in the market, so they came to do research here. They found out that very few people in Kenya are doing extreme large scale avocado. Very few.
Many small scale.
Yeah, many small scale. So we have many small scale farmers, all over. And then we have these people now who are brokers now, who come to buy from
Call
all
them
over.
consolidators.
Consolidators. Yes. So you have consolidators. So you see, one, you can get into it in terms of being the consolidator.
Yeah.
You're just
As
the
farmers
consolidator.
yourself.
The farmers are already there. What you do is consolidation. That's what you do, But under the consolidation, you can be something else in that value chain again. The whole aspect of transportation.
You can be the logistics.
You can be the logistics person. So you are benefiting from the value chain of avocado. Yes. But now we're talking about transportation, the logistics, and then you have the consolidation. Okay? And then from the consolidation, I do not need to have an airship machine for 10, 20, 30, 40 million. There are already people with those machines. All I need now is to get to agreement with them. Funny enough, what I've come to realize is the only challenge that people have mostly is that they do not like to search these people out.
The thing is, actually, when you talk about an Eshet machine being of that value, what as Eshet we've decided to do in the Africa market is to support these guys.
Okay, how?
We understand not everyone will have that amount instantly.
Yeah, upfront.
So we just come and tell you, of course, pay like 50% of that. Or the bank will just tell you, just pay like 50% of that, ship the machine, the installation charges and all that. Then as we continue working, as the machine is making you money, you also continue paying us. So we have decided to support the African market in that way.
Yes.
And honestly, it's working. Because we realize, me being here as the head of the African region and all that, I realize one thing, the struggle is there. Access of capital is not like in other markets, okay? But still, the machine is needed. So that's how I discuss with guys. So we always tell the guys, you come to us, let's sit down with you, look at what you need, we design a package for you, then we continue working, interest-free.
And people imagine that they have to have the entire full amount.
Yeah.
So, I don't know if banks accept this, accepting the machine as security and then giving you the money. So far, they're doing that.
We've tried with.
I know the individuals who do that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we're in
individual
discussion.
institutions that do that.
We're in discussion with a few institutions here in Kenya,
Yes.
and of course in other parts of the region, whereby we now want that machine to be used as collateral. Okay, because if banks can actually finance you to import a car, the same way they should be able to finance you to import this
and then
machine.
A car is a depreciating asset. This other one is
Will probably maintain
residual. It generates. It will generate for you.
Yeah, because these are guys, people rent it out. It's not cheap to rent it out.
Yes.
Yeah, people rent it out every other day and they make money. So it's agriculture is an industry that we need to look at with an outside look, because there's a youth out here who's probably getting a tender to supply KDF fruits on Monday. Okay, the worth of the tender is, let's say, 20 million, but this guy has nothing. Okay,
But he's won the tender.
he's won the tender. He's holding the document that is verifiable.
Certificate is here.
Yes, so banks need to come to a point whereby they now accept. Yes, I know and I'm aware there's the stimulus package that the president actually talked about, the 53 billion. Part of it will go to the youth. So people need to look at how do we support these guys. Okay, let's come from the old school mentality of security.
You know, I had a bad experience once with one of those institutions.
You've always talked about it. Your heart.
I'm scared. I'm scared. I need a hug.
Please tell us. Remind us again.
You see what
Just
happened?
remind us again.
You see, like Nick has said,
Yes.
I had all the documents that proved I had won the tender, I was going to supply, and they were going to pay. I had all the paperwork. Okay, so what I needed some money to be able to purchase the machine. Okay, I wanted the processing machine. We do herbs and spices, so I needed a dryer, a bigger dryer. I needed a vacuum sealer. I needed a packaging machine, and a coder, and all of them are within the budget range that they were offering youths. Okay, so here I went. All my papers, sat down with the CEO, and I told them, this is what I have. You can even call to verify. These people will tell you it is certified everything, okay? Your policies say that I need to give security in terms of land, and the land value needs to be higher.
Twice. Of course.
Yes.
50%.
Imagine.
So
I do not.
Alone that is 10
Yes, so I do
Better have
not.
a property that is worth
20 million. That is Shamba in Karen. Thank you.
So for
and
me,
it's a half.
yes. So for me, requested, is it possible to consider funding this, and then the machines become the collateral, and the guarantors are the people who are even going to pay. Who they are ready? Call them right now. If you want a letter, they will write a letter, whatever you want, But do you know the system that I was applying to, the institution I was applying to, is so set and carved out in their thinking that the only way they can be able to support you is if you with security, if you fall under certain mold, but that particular mold cannot support.
And who are you talking about? It's called what?
No.
That fund is called the what?
I'm scared for my life.
No, it's called that. So I mean, really, you have to let's say facts are there. How many youth
Have land in Karen.
not even landing? Assume even you have a land in the village. It's 5 acres. The most that value land can be is maybe 10 million. It's 5 acres, yes, but they still won't give you the land. And who are you talking? You're talking about property that belongs to the whole family, but they're willing to risk that for you, but they still won't give you the land because they're saying first, hey, that's in the village, that's community land. We don't want to get involved. You see, it's so difficult to get through to the system. You can barely scratch the surface.
No, I'm thinking companies that also give youth money should be actually, if in the event I have proved I can work, okay, and you've given me the LPO, let it come with a letter of guarantee. Guarantee we are going to pay
They did not accept even with that. You see, the
But that
institution
guy did not like you. So I
Maybe
think
because I'm black. It was
No.
Really? How do I
It
come?
was lighter.
Black lives matter.
I don't think guys,
It was lighter.
let me tell you something. Do you know, there will always be people out there who can probably listen to you. And they're actually individuals who probably, if you sit down with them and they see your business plan, your idea, and you can see the end and the beginning of this whole process, but the interest rates are ridiculous.
That's the thing.
They're going to make you miserable.
They have a name.
They-
They have
those-
a name.
But no, they are no. They are not loan sharks. But there are people who are financials. Let's just call them decent.
Call them investors.
No, decent financials. Decent finance. They'll sit with you, understand your product, understand what you're doing. They are there now, and they're slowly starting to be, but still, they are still not funded well.
Okay, so what do we say about the avocado line?
You see, the avocado value chain that we are mentioning is the agribusiness and agro-processing side. Okay? In my opinion, these government institutions need to set up, they've already set up structures that can support agriculture, which is very good.
Very true.
Very true. God bless them. But
Tell us. Let me say in Kikuyu, tell us that value chain. And in detail, tell us. Because when you say that value, who are you talking about? Who is that value chain?
yeah. So the value chain is what we were actually mentioning.
Yes, but now you see, now you're specifically saying the value chain.
Yes. So yeah, we're breaking it down. We started breaking it down from the logistics person.
Yes.
You know, from the consolidator. You know, from there now you can get to a point where I don't have a place I can be able to get the avocados. So I get in contact with a consolidator.
Yes.
What I have, I can be able to access a few funds, because right now, young people can access loans left, right, and center. The options are too many. It's very easy to get money right now. It's very easy to get quick cash.
I thought you were just saying just now that that's the problem.
No.
That's a
Quick
oxymoron.
cash. No. Listen.
Loan up.
Quick cash.
Loans on apps.
Yes, it's very easy to get quick cash. You know, even on loans and everything.
regulated.
Okay.
Not regulated.
So,
with high interest rates.
for instance,
Yes.
Even if I was not a business person and I had a payslip and I went to the bank, I would have gotten that money. You see, so right now we have many young people getting loans to buy cars, TVs, sofa sets. And these are not like the ones we're looking at. They're within their right, and they're not cheap. You know, they're not 20,000 shilling.
I think there's also an app on the M-Pesa there which says they can give you a loan.
They can.
Some have to hire 70,000. Why don't you work with figures which we can say we can almost touch? Those are the figures we should
That's
be
what I'm
talking
saying.
about. Yes.
Right now, 10 working class Kenyans, young people, just 10 of them, with pay slips. All of them can access 50,000 shillings worth of a loan.
I agree.
Very easily. Yes? So those 10, that's how much that comes to?
500.
Half a name.
Half a million. Half a million. Yes? With 500,000 shillings, you can be able to buy avocado from a consolidator. You can be able to go hire a pack house, get them packaged, and with that particular money, you can be able to access market using the online platforms that are there. True. You see? True. And those particular 10, the profit margin in just exporting is usually anywhere between 50 to 100%. You can play around with it, depending on the value of the dollar, depending on where you're buying. But it's very easy to make a profit margin. Okay?
That's why it's called business.
That's why it's called business. Now, when you get onto the other, when you decide to go the Kanyarati way, I'm going to decide to press the oil. Under the same, institutions, was it Kenya Association of Manufacturers or who? Or one of those institutions. They actually have a facility where they have the money. Okay? I come and I tell them, I want to buy a grinder, I want to buy a dryer, I want to buy a packing machine, a vacuum sealer. This is something that I'm going to do, you know, and we'll follow the process and see how it goes. It's actually one of the things I'm actually going to do. So, they will give me the machines, they will buy the machines for me at is it an interest of 1 or 2%? Some ridiculous, because it subsidized government money, you know? They give me the machines to use, and they even set up a place for me because they have warehouses. Okay? They have warehouses. And the security are those machines.
True, but also we need to take advantage of EPZ zones.
EPZ, yes.
Yeah, in this country, because it's cheaper to set up there.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So, but why aren't we doing it?
Do you have the information? Thank you.
I'm asking you. Because
We don't do
we
it.
are talking about barriers.
Yeah.
That also would
No,
stop
we're
us.
not doing it because of the misconception that these things are privately owned.
Those ones, they are
We've put them into a class. Okay? Yet you can just go to Kitengela, get to EPZA, walk in, they'll show you probably, if you're lucky enough, an empty go down. Of which the value, if it was outside an EPZ region, it probably be, assuming for working purposes, it should have been like 200K. Then you get to an EPZ zone and you get it at 80K.
What?
That's
big over
That's amazing.
There's no-
And I've seen some of those
16%
go downs.
is
They're
not there.
ridiculously large.
Yeah. Their go downs are very big. I know currently like enough 4 companies set up there. Okay. Just go there, work. Of course, the custom bonding and all that. Before you also get there, you need to learn about custom bonds and all that, so that you're able to know how to operate. And then 2, if you have funds to set up a place, set it up, then call the EPZ to come certify it as EPZ zone. Done.
Yes.
Okay, your costs have gone
Lower.
because now if you are to buy something minus I think there's a tax that is off, either VAT or something off. That means one thing. Your costs.
Yeah, that's 16% in your pocket, which you didn't have.
You never
or which
had.
was going anyway.
Yes. So either way, those are the things people need to consider. Okay? Before you set up a business, look at around you what government facility has been set up to support such a business. Because textile industry is supported, agriculture industry is supported. Yeah.
Basically, what I've come to learn now that I got into the farming space and got into the agribusiness and agro processing, the government has done a lot in terms of equipment to use in agro processing. There is
It comes in interest free. You don't pay any taxes.
You don't pay
on it.
anything.
You just rent it for the period
Yeah,
you're
I told
there.
you the story about. I visited which county was it?
Also, county governments are trying to set up, trying to encourage people to go and set up.
I went to this facility. It had brand new machines that had been there for about 2, 3, 4 years.
Wow.
Brand new machines, 0 mileage, and all of them for processing food.
You see, thing is, I know probably when this video goes out, guys will be like, rarely do you hear guys saying the government has worked.
Yes.
This
But
time we are saying they
honestly,
have.
on this side, the government has worked.
But why isn't that information out to? I know you'll say we can seek it, like I had to do it
Yeah.
with Avocado.
Yeah.
So why isn't that commonly known? You see, when you look at, let's go back to where we are dealing with the farmer.
Okay,
That
Jack, so
farmer.
this is what I'll tell you. Every industry has a government regulatory body. Every industry you want to get in has a government regulatory body.
Yes.
So before you get into a certain industry, go to the regulatory body and find out. Because either way, before you do anything, it's them who'll give you the practicing certificate.
certification, yes.
Yeah. So go to them, tell them, what do you have to support startups?
This is what I want to do.
This is what I want to do. What do you have to support me?
Yes.
Okay? They will. You see, we are so used to the government does not have.
Naomba serikali.
Badala ya kufanya kazi na.
Culture. Now you see where my argument for culture comes in. Culture. And one of the things honestly that I'll have to do, I'll have to see how to plan a course and a class around the demystification of agriculture, the dangers of coming into farming with an
Fixed mind.
actually with an agribusiness mindset. I mean, with an agribusiness expectation and agricultural mentality. Yes. So many of us have an agribusiness expectation. The expectation, agribusiness, but the mentality, agriculture. So we will see, in this course, we will see how to just bring the two aligned. Because if you want agricultural results, have an agricultural mindset. And if you want agribusiness results, have an agribusiness mindset.
But also, you have mentioned organizations, government bodies that either regulate or have some of them. Please, let's bring them to the forefront so that when we are talking to the people who are listening to us, have an idea. You are the one who I believe who has most of that information and Nick.
The ones that have blessed my heart, honestly.
Yes.
Kiridi, Kenya Industrial Research and Development Institute.
And what is that in relation to what you're doing?
Now, Kiridi has a facility. They're in different segments. So they have food, and then they have chemicals, and then they have leather. So different warehouses, and each of those warehouses is equipped with machines, fully equipped. I met there some fantastic people, Mr. Warui and his team. They were more enthusiastic about my product than me.
Yeah.
I'm not even joking. I got there, yes, this is what you need to do. Hey, what do you do? Oh, you do spices. Oh, that's very nice. Okay, yeah, we have this and this person doing spices, this and this person doing spices, this and this person doing spices. So how are you doing them? I was green. No idea what to do. I was assigned what you call an RM, like a relationship manager. She was called Bitutu. This is the one who's going to handle your business. And true enough, this is how you need to dress up. You need to have this kind of gumboots. You need to have this kind of attire, the garb. Then after that, this is how you process. We did the entire process from the time the product arrives from the farm. The cleaning, the sorting, the chopping, the size it needs to be, handling and all that, cleanliness. Hey, my friend, I was impressed. And it was actually from there that we managed to get our KEBS licensing. Because KEBS are also very strict. I love what KEBS are doing in terms of food. That's the institution. Kenya Bureau of Standards. Yes. So Kenya Bureau of Standards, when you're doing, for instance, food like us, we are doing food, they need to come to your facility. True. Okay? So we did not have the money to hire an entire facility. So we were incubated in Kiridi. Okay? So they came and inspected what we were doing under the banner of Kiridi. And they were satisfied. We met all their standards. Yes, they give you a standardized books. They have a checklist, and they're very strict on, which I understand because it's food, And we met all those standards because we were under the banner of Kiridi. Yes. If we were not under the banner of Kiridi, it would have been a very long process, a different process. Okay. Then we managed to get our KEBS. Okay. Now after the KEBS, or rather before the KEBS, or within the KEBS, we needed a barcode because we wanted to sell to supermarkets, whatnot, and everything. There's a company called GS1. GS1 do an excellent job in terms of barcoding, but we couldn't get the GS1 if we did not have the KEBS. And we could not get the KEBS if we did not have the registration licensing. You see how it works. So when we got the license to business registration license, which nowadays is online, you can literally do it online, we were able to attract KEBS. When KEBS gave us the certification, we were able to get the GS1 barcode. After getting the GS1 barcode, we decided, you know what? We're going to even go further and see how we can be able to get our packaging locally, which we managed to do through Ramco. Interesting enough, people imagine some of these institutions are too up there. I sat down with the CEO, and he literally listened to me and said, we like young people. We like young people who come here with these ideas, and it's good. And they were able to give me a package of an SME. Yeah. And we managed to start with the little that we had. And that's how the wheels started turning. So all these institutions are there. Kenya Association of Manufacturers, they have incredible stuff in terms of just processing. Just processing, And there's this other one. There's Kenya Association of Manufacturers, there's Kiridi, and there's another one, starts with a Kena. I'll remember. And probably, I think Kipi. Yes, and Kipi as well.
Is it
Property
industry?
Yeah. Now they help you copyright your, they help you copyright and all that. So the opportunities that are there are immense. So when it comes to understanding let's go back to the avocado value chain, you can literally benefit and generate revenue from the avocado value chain without ever stepping on an avocado farm.
Which is true, and that's where now most people who are what we call agribusiness people should stand. Ours is to pick what the farmer has produced and ask ourselves, what can I do to grow this product to something different?
But as I said, pay the farmer.
No, farmer has to
pay them well.
You see, listen, but you know what? This thing is a whole process. I remember in the 70s and 80s, forget that. You had people in the villages driving a Casol, a Suzuki, doing animal insemination. So what? You had quality seeds for the animals, for quality animals, like cows. And it was 1 shilling or 2 shillings. It was truly affordable because, of course, it was subsidized by the government. Then you had an agricultural officer walking around, the extension officers, going and talking to you, please don't do it this way, do it. And they tried to encourage people. Like if you go even all the way to Sagana, which is in Kirinyaga, you have these KPCU go downs that are derelict to a day. Nobody's using them because the system has collapsed.
Yes. But the structure is there.
The structure is there. Why don't they say, you know what, okay, fine, there's not enough coffee. Can we start doing this, but we give you short term as we try and improve the coffee again? Yes. Those are the kind of challenges you will see in that market. The thing is, the government maybe has gone and set up something different, but still the farmer is not well supported. Yeah. And that's the value chain which we need to bring to them so that they can improve the quality of their product, understand what they're dealing with, even as they produce and give the other people who we are calling the agribusiness for processing, the farmer still benefits.
True. Because ideally, just as what Zaxwa said, I'll repeat, every government regulatory body is able to support you. Don't be scared. Walk in, ask the most difficult questions. These people will answer. And then 2, just because it's called government does not mean you ignore them.
No, you cannot.
Okay? Go there. Okay? Those people have so much knowledge to even help you. Yes. Like HCDA, AFA.
HCDA.
They'll tell you which market. They'll tell you which market not to go to because that market has guys who are a bit fishy. Yes. Okay, and they'll probably they have pack houses spread across the country. They have cold stores, so you're able. Yeah, I mean it's 3K to park at AFA. It's an average of 20-25K to park at a private guy. Imagine. That is without using the sorting and grading machine.
Yes.
Yeah.
Just manual.
Yeah, these guys would do veggies.
Yes.
The 3K, the snow peas and all that.
White Not for Time would have continued and even gone further and explained how you can be able to extract dye that can be used in the textile industry using the avocado skin. Yes. But we'll touch base more on that, and we'll probably pick another crop and see how we can be able to agribusiness and agro-process it and show everyone what other opportunities are there using the same crop, but how we can be able to benefit more with the same crop. Yes. This is Business Conversations on Clean Money TV. Nick, Kanyarati, Odipo G. God bless you. Think agribusiness, think agro-processing, not just agriculture.
This is Clean Money TV.